All right, well, the deadline for those Iran nuke talks extended to July 7th. The president says that he's quite willing to walk away. And if this is how those talks are going, my next guest says, well, he should. An administration official telling reporters the entry point isn't we must be able to get into every military site because the United States of America wouldn't allow anybody to get into every military site, so that's not appropriate. Wait a minute. We're talking about Iran here. To Colonel Allen West, who says, bad description, bad excuse. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, it is an unconscionable false moral equivalency statement that was made by that official. First of all, the United States of America is not the #1 sponsor of Islamic terrorism. The United States of America is not holding any Iranians hostage as we see the Iranians are holding 4 Americans, Saeed Abedini, Amir Hekmati, Jason Reznian, and Robert Levinson hostage. And that's where we should have started these negotiations. And furthermore, we've been going on for close to 2 years now, and we know that Iran has been enriching uranium to the point of about 20% increase. So right now, I would say that violating every single standard that we want to have. And we should not be easing back sanctions whatsoever, because any money that we provide to the Islamic regime of Iran will just go to Hamas, Hezbollah, and many of their other proxy
Well, the bottom line
armies.
is, as you know, Colonel, the president indicated today in a press conference that, look, I'll walk away from a deal if they don't do that. I'm paraphrasing here, but inspection is important, and I guess the devil is in the details how they decide what's inspectable. But if the Iranians are the ones deciding that, that would be a problem, right? I mean, that's like a North Korea precedent where they said, no, we'll allow you to look over here, but we want to look over there. But it's a shell game.
Yes. It's an absolute shell game, and it's an incredible game of nuclear whack-a-mole. And why should we even trust the Iranians? You know, look, I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we know that it was Iran that was providing those new and improved explosive force penetrators that caused a lot of maiming and deaths of our men and women in those combat theaters of operation. And we know that Iran is expanding, controlling Baghdad, controlling Sana'a, Yemen, Damascus, Syria, and also Beirut, Lebanon. So there's nothing has changed in the behavior of the Iranians since 1979 when they took our hostages. And of course, we forget 1983, the Beirut bombing of those barracks was conducted by Hezbollah.
Well, what would the president get out of doing an extension of something that's a bad deal? He'd never get it through Congress, right?
No.
So what's in it for him? I always think, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, that everyone prefers an agreement that can maybe stave off something bad, but everyone also remembers Neville Chamberlain.
Absolutely. And when you think about Neville Chamberlain and what Hitler told him after he took the Rhineland without firing a shot, was that the agreement that he had signed was just a piece of paper. The Western powers in the mid to late 1930s sat back and watched Adolf Hitler in Germany rebuild an incredible military-industrial machine, and they did nothing about it. We're sitting back, and history is repeating itself right now. We should walk away from the table. We should not extend this, delay it, and we should just reinstitute those sanctions. And furthermore, any country that wants to deal with Iran, then we should have economic sanctions against them.
All right,
as well.
so let's say we call their bluff. If they are playing this sort of false bravado game, and no, we're not going to let you inspect, and then they dial that back, or no, we're still going to claim death to Israel, then they dial that back and just say things like, no, we just want to maim Israel. But you know what I'm getting at, we're calling their bluff. But we're not doing any of that. And maybe there is a strategy to this that I'm missing. I'm not a negotiator. I know you have a little bit of experience in that. I just think we seem to want this more than they do, and that's never a good sign.
No, it's not a good sign, and we do not have the moral high ground. They do. They feel that they do. That's why they called back their foreign minister. Look, the person who is in charge of this entire negotiation is the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, who, if you've seen, he joins in chants, death to America, death to Israel. This is a country, Iran, that said the destruction of Israel is non-negotiable. So why are we sitting at the table with them? If anything, we should put a naval blockade in on Iran. We should remove any type of, negotiation. We should restore those sanctions full bore and maybe even increase them. And we should be demanding those 4 Americans return back before we will even consider talking to Iran.
All right, Alan, have a safe, happy, peaceful 4th. I appreciate you stopping by.
Happy Independence Day, Neil.